What's up, guys? Welcome back to another recap. Now, we didn't take any trades today, so this is going to be a quick recap talking about what's going on in the markets right now. So this was my morning bias for the day. Initially, we were looking at a sweep of all of this intermediate liquidity right here. My first scenario was if the market was gonna desire to continue higher today, most likely we would have bounce after taking majority of these intermediate lows inside this 1 hour gap to take us higher and just to continue the overall bullish market cycle. But if we did not, I was expecting us to continue lower from this area into London lows and potentially even more lower, which that's what it looks like we got today. So just going into the price action here, see that the market initially just dumped this morning. We opened up right here. We fell right into that area that we were looking for with this 1 hour gap, and all of these lows swept, looking for a retracement or some type of reversal opportunity here, and that did not happen. All right, so with that being said, the market fell all the way into London lows right there. Now, as far as opportunities, not really much. This trade right here, that was very aggressive. I didn't like this one here. I didn't like this just one candle on the 1 minute. Now, if we had more confluences off of this trade, then yes, potentially this would have played out a little better. I think the context is why this trade didn't play out in a sense. Because I did think about this and this was something I was going to take, but based on the context, I didn't take it. We have a 4 hour right here. Boom, we have that 4 hour gap sitting underneath us. That was one of my concerns. And then also one of just my major concerns was initially just this drop. I didn't think one inversion here was going to be the catalyst taking us higher, especially after a major drop like this. We've just been going straight down. Now, if the price action, let's say, would have slowed down a little bit more, got a little bit more range, and then we would have gotten that, then that would have been a better trade. But I think it was just that we had this steep movement and then boom, the market just tried to bounce immediately. And that's kind of what threw me off of that. So did not take that. Just for the context, understanding context is very important. When we're just like in a bearish market like this in momentum, we really need just more context behind just a 1 minute inversion. Okay. And that was just like my main thing behind it and my thought process. It wasn't a trade I felt fully confident in. It felt like just a pattern trade or just a trade that you're chasing. But another opportunity that I was potentially looking for, another opportunity that I think a lot of people probably would have looked for here was this sweep right here. And then we had a higher time frame, which was a 5 minute. This also contextually, like mechanically it looks good, but contextually it's not good. Why? Because we have this huge bearish momentum going to the downside. So we have this huge bearish momentum. We have a gap here, and then we have another gap here. Then we go to the 15-minute time frame, and we see we have a 15-minute gap. Look how much things that you want this market to go through just to pull back into what? The only thing we have up here is this external high, which is all-time highs. This is not a major point of liquidity. This high has not sat here long enough for it to become that major. So another thing as well of why we weren't heavily executing here, unless we seen like very, very A plus context of not bearish momentum and just a little bit more structure here, is because we don't have enough liquidity towards the upside. We have a lot of rebalancing of these gaps in here, but as far as liquidity, all we have is all-time highs, which the market just created this morning. So this is not a high level area of liquidity yet. Okay. there's more targets to the downside than there is to the upside. So that's another reason I just didn't feel like the market was getting pulled towards the upside today. And that's why this area here was that main major area for us, because this would have given us a closer proximity towards this high, and it would have been easier for the market to target this high. But when you have the market give you this aggressive sell here towards London lows, and then you're expecting a reversal, what is the market targeting here? Unless it is to rebalance, which we did. We rebalanced here and then we continued lower, right? But after that, what's the magnet? This is not a strong enough magnet yet. All right. So just context of things to just be understood if you were executing heavily here or aggressively here for longs. And that was pretty much it. I think this 15-minute continuation off of this probably would have been the best trade for the day. Let's see here. Unless you're taking the seconds time frames, I don't see the actual execution you would have taken. This would have to be a seconds time frame entry somewhere along the lines of here. There's a seconds time frame entry with this movement right here. Boom. Most likely that would have been your inversion of whatever manipulation was here. Stop loss above this high, and then target would be this low or this 4 hour right here, which you see we tapped off perfectly. So that's kind of my recap of the day and what I'm looking for. I'm actually glad that we're pulling back. Every time we pull back from all-time highs, we should be happy. And now I definitely believe that we are gonna go towards this new week opening gap. The more that the market sits here, the more that we expand lower. I think this is going to be our major target for the remainder of the week. So let's just keep that in mind on NQ. And yep, that is pretty much it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this recap. Hopefully you guys set out the market. If you caught these shorts, great for you. And let me know if you have any questions, comments, anything down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.